Good afternoon. It's been one of those weekends, and I'll tell you what, Monday has started off with a heck of a bang, news wise. First off, real quick, I want to give my thoughts and hopefully all of our prayers to all of the victims in a absolutely horrific fire in Russia, in a mall in Russia. Um, I believe it was like 56. It'd be the first thing on Twitter that we see. I believe it was 56 lives were lost in that mall fire. Absolutely devastating, and it's a shame. It really is. I know eyewitnesses were saying that they didn't hear any smoke detectors. They had no warning, and apparently it just went totally out of control uh, nearly instantly, from what I read. Very saddening. Very, very saddening. I you know, of course, I watched video of a lot of the different stuff with the March for Our Lives rallies that had happened over the weekend, and it's really a shame. It really truly is a shame that there is so much indoctrination going on, so much misleading going on, and it's just I can't believe the level that it's going to this time, folks. This is the push. I can assure you. I have never seen a push like this in the history of my life. I have never seen a push like this. The only time I've ever seen any pushes like this, and I was speaking for gun control. The only other time that I've seen pushes like this, it's been for things like gay marriage, transgender bathrooms, things like that that they undoubtedly shove through. And I'm neither here nor there on that. I'm not saying they should or shouldn't or anything. That's not my point. My point is every time that they pushed in that manner, in those ways, using those methods, they got shoved through what they wanted. That is what I'm focusing on. It's not a debate. All of this, except for gun control, but all of the other stuff is a moral issue, and I'm not going there. It's not my job. Not my job to judge other people. So the thing is there's an agenda. We all know about the agenda, and the agenda will be played out, folks. It's not going to stop. There is nothing that we can do to stop it other than to actually physically intervene and stop it. That's it. That's the only thing we can do. And believe me, it's going to come to that point. My question is, my concerns is what's going to happen between now and then. And when I say now and then, I don't think then is very far away. I think there's a lot of things set up, orchestrated, ready to go. And I think we're right at the edge of that. I'm still, by the way, on the fence trying to figure out Russia's role in everything. Trying to figure out if they're just a part of it, if they're just another actor on stage, or if they are a truly an independent company or country. we're I don't know why I keep saying company. I think of the United States and it's more like a company than it is a country. But I don't know if Russia is truly a independent country in all of this, independent both of the United States interest and agendas and the global interest and agendas. I don't know. I honestly don't know. It's too hard to tell, and I've mulled over it for years, and I can't put my finger on it for sure. Either way, um, that doesn't matter. Like I was trying to explain to somebody on social media today, that wanted to go back and forth about the Constitution and our forefathers' intentions and all that. And it's like at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. All of this is rhetoric. When are you going to go unarmed and go disarm the American people? Because that's the only thing that matters. That's the only thing that's important. All the rest is just rhetoric. And he didn't like that. He didn't like that one bit. In fact, I got told to F off real quick. And it's like, you know what? We need to stop the beating each other with our handbags. And we need to make a decision. Are we going to do this? The old put up or shut up. Are we going to do this or not? If we're not, shut the hell up. If we aren't, then let's get to it. I'm not getting any younger, and I'm not saying that I would be worth a damn in the fight. I certainly wouldn't. In fact, I would be somebody taking a knife to a gunfight because I don't own a firearm. But like I said on social media the other day, I will stand side by side with my brothers and sisters. Even though I don't own a firearm, I will stand side by side with my brothers and sisters that do and choose to. And I don't care if I have to use a loose leaf notebook. I will get my due diligence because there are some things that you are not taking. And like I said, that anymore, no more. No more. They want to say no more. I'm saying no more. No more attacks on personal liberty. And by that I mean individual liberty. No more attacks on the Bible. No more. They've had their time. Obama's not president anymore. We don't have an apologist at the helm. Okay, I don't think we have much better at the helm, but at least we don't have an apologist there. Because that got way out of hand. That got way, way out of hand. And probably a good half of the problems that we have right this moment in this society is literally, and you can think whatever, but it's because of Obama. Because of his apologist agendas, his apologist ways. Bow down to everybody and everything, regardless of how horrible it is. Just bow down and give in. And that was his attitude with it. And he knew what he was doing. And again, this is all part of a global agenda. He knew that it was weakening the fabric of this nation. They've been working for decades at weakening the fabric of this nation. Okay, so no, it's not all Obama's fault, but Obama was a very key player in what's happening today. With people thinking that they don't have to take responsibility for their words, thinking that there won't be any consequences to their actions, and I don't know what to tell them. I don't know what to tell them other than to let them fall. Let them fall. But let's get the dance started. Absolutely, let's get the dance started. Because you know what? This isn't doing anyone any good. Not even the unrealistic kids that don't understand that the only difference between this and Nazi Germany is them following through with their ideology. They don't get it. It doesn't click in their heads. They can't connect the two. Right? You show them a picture of Hitler standing with children talking about how he was doing it for the children. And they don't connect it. Now, how you can be that far out of touch, I have no idea. I have no idea. I only know myself. I know the things that I've stayed away from because I've seen them as red flags, like television. Big, big red flag. And I seen that and I got away from it. I really do try to avoid as much fluoride as I can. Okay? I try to ignore as much drama as I can. I don't get wrapped up into things that aren't important. I try to set my priorities right. And I try to approach things from a logical position. The two things that I use as scales when I approach a matter are the Constitution and the Bible. How can you go wrong doing that? Unless you only take bits and pieces out of each one and try to make everything fit your box by doing so. That'll lead you down a really bad path. It's insane. Let's go ahead and go over the Twitter stuff, and then we'll go from there. A lot of good stuff I've got for you today as far as video type of stuff lined up. and I've got more to say here in a moment, but let's go ahead and get the Twitter business taken care of. As I said, starting out, 56 confirmed dead in major fire at Siberia Mall. UK Defense Secretary claims arrest warrant issued for doubtful Russian capital. Erdogan says Turkey will do what's necessary if Baghdad government op in Sinjar fails. Commuter drops into metro escalator in horrifying CCTV video recording is what that is. I watched that earlier. It's scary. The guy, I think, just had a fractured arm, luckily. Those things are known for chewing people up. Ugly, ugly, ugly accidents come from escalators. Video of moment blaze begins at busy shopping mall in Russia's Kemerovo, which I probably said that wrong. All this stuff on our Twitter, at the Watchman News is our Twitter handle. All this stuff is there if you want to click on the individual links. Germany, Poland expel Russian diplomats over Skripal case. Trump orders expulsion of 60 Russian diplomats, closure of Seattle consulate. Viagra to be sold over the counter as drug company falls on hard times. Yes, you heard that correctly. You heard that correctly. Viagra is no longer needed via prescription. Our prescription is no longer needed because the company is hard. And so I guess they want to share it. Um, I won't even go further with that. Let's see. Ambassador slams U.S. decision to expel 60 Russian diplomats, close consulate. UK's May welcomes decision for states to expel Russian diplomats. Moscow to respond to expulsion of Russian diplomats reciprocally. I know I can't say that word. I never could say that word. Iceland announces diplomatic boycott of 2018 World Cup in Russia. Trump urges other states to join expulsion of Russian diplomats. Can we tell a theme for today? So that's what I want to talk about next. Because all of this stuff goes in together. Like I've said a long time ago and continue to keep saying, and there's a reason why I keep repeating myself. They will take the guns. Whether you hand them over willingly or whether they have to use force, they will take them. But they aren't going to roll up in front of your door on a bright, sunny day with big old smiles on their faces. Not how they're going to do it. Because the American people will fight back. Not all of them, but enough to make things kind of messy. Enough to get attention. Enough to get other people riled up. They can't have that. See, they need to have the high road in this. If you ever notice the way governments do things, is they do their best to appear to take the high road. Look at the wars abroad. Look at all the innocents that are being slaughtered daily. Okay? But does our government say, oh, we're just dirtbags that like to kill innocent people? No. They try to take the high road. They try to explain it away. These are necessary losses. By the way, if another country accidentally hits civilians, they get completely demonized. But what we're seeing here is we're seeing the very steps that lead right up to war. And I know we've seen this before with the diplomats and ambassadors and all this good stuff. Not on this level. Not on this level. And this is only one piece of it all. Just one tiny piece. There's a much, much larger piece to it. They have been constantly and consistently attacking countries like Iran, Russia, China, and I would say that they're about tired of it. So much so that China is literally taking the in steps preparing for war. They're almost ready to go. Almost ready to go. Of course, so are we. We've been doing that for quite some time. Russia's been doing that for quite some time. Everybody's got their ducks in a row. And once you have allocated this much time, money, and resources to war, governments do not back out. I've seen a lot of rhetoric going around on the internet about how, the Trump defenders saying, oh, well, he's going to take that money, all that money, and the wall, make America great again. Back with that nonsense. No, he's not. Those billions and billions and billions of dollars that were allocated to the military are not going anywhere but the military. Do you think that he was intimidated into signing that to the level in which the way he acted, and I do mean acted, not acted as in scripted acted. I mean acted as in probably didn't want people to notice acted, and think they're not gonna, mean it? You think they're gonna let go of it? You think General Mattis gives a damn about his wall? Huh. We're talking about the military industrial complex. They don't give a damn about anybody except staying in business, which means war. It's not pretty. The situation we're standing before is not pretty. And it seems like everybody at this point is committed. I left North Korea out, by the way, earlier when I was talking about consistently attacking. North Korea is another one. This is not going to go well. How many years have we been a country? How many actual wars have we fought on our own soil? Now, I know about Pearl Harbor, and how many wars have we actually fought on our soil? How many of our beaches were being stormed? In the entire history of this country, all of the wars, the theater of wars, the military actions, the peacekeeping whatevers, not a single one of them's been here. Now, don't you think the bigger, smarter countries are tired of tearing their own stuff up? I do. I do. And with so many resources and troops and this and that allocated abroad, it'd be kind of silly not to attack our homeland, don't you? We've definitely got more resources abroad than we do at home. And again, every single thing I'm talking about may be a part of the script in the same disgusting play. But again, like I said, talking about it's just rhetoric, it's just semantics. The only important thing is the end game, the actual results. The only thing is how is this going to actually affect us here at home? That is what is important. That is the information we need to focus on. Not all the semantics, not all the debates, not all this and that. The best way to disable this country, and I've talked about it a million times, isn't to just nuke the hell out of us. That's kind of pointless, really. No winning in that. Hit us with an EMP. Right there, right there, you pretty much won. That's all it takes. But let's say that countries like Russia and China aren't part of this globalist agenda. Let's say they're not. Let's say what we see is on the up and up, so to speak, and they're not a part of it. It doesn't matter because it will get blamed on them. Our lights go out, they will be blamed. I assure you of that. But mark my words when I say that is the opportunity that they will take to come and take the weapons. Mark my words on that. I would urge all gun owners, especially those that have stockpiles of weapons and ammo, do something with it. If you bury it, please don't just bury it. Put something, a piece of lead over the top of the hole, underground jet, but something. Don't just bury it in PVC pipes in the ground or something like that, because trust me, they'll know they're there. And they may even know they're there if you put lead over it. I don't know, but I do know they have the technology to scan for stuff like that under the earth. Folks, do something. Get ready, because when it happens, it happens, and the resources are going to be limited. But we're Americans. We can take a little and do a lot with it. That's the incredible thing. We are amazingly resourceful people. And that is the biggest feather we can have in our cap. Because if we can win small little battles here and there, we can build strong enough to win the war. I want to end all this thought on something that I think is of utmost importance when it comes to mental preparation. I'm going to go over preparation notes real quick again. Number one, this is in order from most to least important. My list of preparations and their importance, or types of preparations. And I know a lot of you probably heard this before from me, but I haven't did the monologues before and stuff, and I really think it's important people hear this. Number one, most important, spiritually prepared. Have to be spiritually prepared. Because when all else fails, that's all you've got. Number two, mentally prepared. Because it doesn't matter how many toys you've got, it doesn't matter how long you've trained on those toys. If you lose your shit, you don't have a chance. And that is also why spiritually prepared is number one. Because when you do lose your shit, and I did say when, not if, you can look to God or whoever your higher power is. I don't want to limit it to God. Whoever your higher power is. I mean, what I say by I don't want to limit it to God is because not everybody calls him or her or it God. Okay? But I think we're all on the same page, even if we don't know we are. Number three, knowledgeably prepared. Because stuff's going to break. Matter of life. Stuff is going to break. You're going to run out of stuff. You're going to have to leave stuff behind. 1,000,001 scenarios is going to cost you to lose some or all of the things that you have gathered in preparation. But if you have the knowledge to make do, if you have the knowledge to improvise, if you have the knowledge to repair, You've won a lot of battles right there. Lastly, physically prepared. Give what you can. Train as much as you can on it, which kind of coincides with the knowledgeably prepared and touches on the mentally prepared. But let me tell you about one of the most advantages you can have in a theater of war. Now, mind you, I'm not a veteran, but I'm also not an idiot. The biggest advantage you can have in a theater of war is knowing your terrain, knowing your surroundings. You see? Because if they even ship in people from another town, not necessarily another state or another country or another planet if you want to go there, you know every little nook and cranny that's around you. And that gives you such an advantage. It's incredible. You also know the different areas around you that make for good resource, meaning water supplies, food supplies. And I'm not talking about Walmart or even transportation. You know, if you live out not in a big city or something, you might know where there's a horse farm at. I said a horse farm, whatever. Horse breeder or somebody who, what do they call that? Equine, where they where they board horses. Yeah, a horse boarder place. Sorry, I'm not that's not my area of life, so pardon me on that. But you get what I'm saying, right? You know, you might know where the cattle farms are, the beef farms, the pork farms. Now that's a little bit more in our area. We do have a lot of farming around here. You know, there's different things that you will know where they are, and you'll have an advantage to be able to utilize those resources and or protect those resources. So there's a lot to just knowing your terrain, knowing your area, right? I would say that we're beyond past a point to speak to like-minded individuals, but be very careful when you do that. Very, very, very careful. Don't put your cards on the table, and definitely don't talk about all that you have. You won't have it long. You know, and when you really have to, man, you have to be so careful. I could spend days talking about operational security when it comes to trying to get other people on board. You basically want to share nothing, just thoughts about what could happen and how you would like to be able to respond, not necessarily what tools you have currently to respond. If there's something you don't have that would be of great importance, you can bring it up. You can bring it up. Um, if they bring up something that they don't have that they think is a major item of importance, and you do have it, oh, you could say something like, "Oh yeah, I've got a buddy that's got that taken care of." You don't have to say that you got it. Anyway, I'm not. I could spend days going over what ifs and all that with this stuff. Again, it's a thing of strategy. It's putting puzzle pieces together, which being able to put those puzzle pieces together is also equally important when it comes to keeping enough puzzle pieces taken apart to make it really, really hard for people to figure out what the picture is, if that made a lot of sense to you. I I couldn't I couldn't tell people more to be ready. Since I've been doing this, I've used the same Ron White um, threat analysis, and I've been telling people for a long, long time to buy a damn helmet. And more recently, I've been telling people to put on the damn helmet. And I told you guys that I probably wouldn't be around to be able to tell you to put on the damn helmet. but I am. And I'm telling you, put on the damn helmet. And some people might think I'm jumping to the gun on that. I would rather us all look like idiots sitting there putting our helmets on for nothing than to think that one single person could have perished because I had not spoke up. I have never had a gut feeling this powerful, this strong, telling me that this is about to get real as I have lately. So with that, I'm going to close up this monologue, and as I've started doing with the monologues, I'm going to end with God bless you all. We love you all. Be one with your spirit.